Hi folks, Lucas from Brazilian Blades here. Let me try this new review style, focusing only on the knife and not in my ugly face. I hope you guys like it. This is the review of the Viator from Three Rivers Knives. It's an interesting blade, and it has so much good stuff going on for it, especially given the current scenario of the knife market, which most of the options are frame locks or liner locks. This is a special type of slip joint, which is really refreshing and really well made. So for those who don't know, Three Rivers Knives is a company based in Massachusetts. They do a lot of the machine work for very famous knife companies. If you have a knife made in the US, most likely, or a few knives made in the US, most likely you have something that went through their manufacturing facility. And it's really well done. We visited them, and they're really great guys. This knife was I bought it. It was not a gift. So while Marianne and they are good friends, this review is unbiased, or as biased towards me. Viator, it's Traveler. It's a larger version of an earlier slip joint they did called the Nomad. The interesting thing about slip joints is that they don't lock. So, for example, we can take this slip joint from Boker, made in China, Boker Plus. It doesn't lock. So this is kind of a very unique style, almost a tactical slip joint. And you see why the Viator is so special also in comparison with this one. Obviously, the most famous slip joints are the Swiss Army knives, and they are, some people think about folding knives. So let's go to the blade. This one has bone white G10 scales. When I was talking with Marianne about the options in the forum for Three Rivers Manufacturing, I suggested bone. What I had in mind at the time was actually bone linen for the scales, but the bone white matched perfectly, and mine has a jade G10 spacer. I might get some jade scales too. The blade opens. It has a half stop, so it means if you close it, it won't really close on your finger, which is really important because this blade is extremely sharp. Now it has a nice snap, nice tension. It's a slip joint with almost no vertical movement, so you need a lot of force to make the knife move, which means it's a very safe slip joint. And so, pointing out I'd say the two best things about this knife. First, the ergonomics and the general shape. They are just perfect. When you hold it, you really feel the knife gripping in your hand. The jimping is good. This also helps you giving you some tactile feedback of when the blade's closing. So if you press with your thumb, you add resistance to closing it, which is really helpful if you're using it harder. So blade looks good. It looks like it has everything in place, and it really does. Now, the star is the grind and the blade. You see it's hair thin. It's a full flat grind, and at this point it's a scalpel. It's like the bastard son of a scalpel and a razor, and they both want to cut you bad. It comes with a warning. I have no idea where I put it. This blade is extremely sharp, and this blade is extremely sharp. Now, you don't see a lot of cutting demos with napkins. Napkins are a pain to cut, right? Yeah, not so much. You see, it just requires no effort. It's insane. This is one, if not the sharpest, one of the sharpest blades. I think only I have one knife which is as sharp as this one, which is this one, which is a table price $2,500 GDC. Table price, a lot more secondary. So yeah, that's the only knife I know I have that's as sharp as this one that I remember. There's also one from Rick Lala, the Sentry, which is as sharp as this one. You're talking customs, really. So this is a slicer. I can't really emphasize how sharp and practical this blade is. The steel is CPM 154, great steel, done with particle metallurgy, which means it has very small, evenly distributed carbides, which means you can sharpen it really thinly with a really fine stone, and you're going to get an edge that's worthy of that. Sometimes you get some more carbide heavy steels like S110V. You sharpen them beyond 1,000 grit, it's not worth it because the carbides are large and you don't get this like incredibly Scalpel-like cut. So half stop is the mechanism is really interesting. It's an original mechanism for them. Now, there's one con to this knife for me, which is the way it opens. I would love to see this as an axis lock with a one-handed opening mechanism. The placement of the cutout really begs for that. But if you're talking about a slip joint, usually slip joints have either a weaker spring, which allows you to use less force, or they have whatever you're using, either a nail nick or a cutout or something, closer to the middle, so you get a better leverage on the blade. What happens usually is that I pull it here and then I pinch the blade to open it, so I get more control. I've asked for other people to let me know what they thought. I handled the blade to them, and a few girls had a hard time opening it because of the strength. The knife required a little adjustment. The pivot was a little loose when it arrived, so it had some side play, but quick adjustments with the torque screw solved that. And this is really a beautiful knife, and I think for the price, it was $120. You really are making a great deal. The fact that it's legal anywhere in the world, besides being a great slicer, that's something that you should have in your kit, because if you're going to the UK, or you're going to France, or you're going anywhere where you like just throw this in your backpack and a police officer sees it, you open it with both hands, and it looks better than having a knife that's gonna open like this. This looks much more aggressive. So for a traveling knife, that's a great choice, and it's legal anywhere. So Viator, incredible knife. I wanted this to be a short review, but it ended up being large because it has many nice details. You can get it with carbon fiber, with G10, with a variety of materials. I would have liked it. I love this Bond G10. I still would have liked to see some the Bond linen micarta, but the world's not perfect, and I really enjoyed the white G10's move. Well, the fact that it's smooth, it means it won't ruin your pants, which is very important. So that's it, folks. Hope you liked the new style, and see you next time. Bye.